This massive tumor is incredibly overbearing. It's duking it out for room in the pregnant gal's tummy against a teeny tiny tot. The tumor's grown to be half as big as the baby, with a diameter clocking in at 417 inches. The expectant mama's in the middle of an exam right now. Looking at the ultrasound, it's dead obvious that the tumor's hogged all the blood supply in the uterus. If things keep going like this, the baby's gonna get squished to death by the tumor. And the mom's life is on the line, too. The mama figures that once the tumor's cut out surgically, the baby will be right as rain. But Dr. Melendez breaks it to her that she's got antiphospholipid syndrome. A long op's gonna be downright dangerous. If a clot makes its way to the brain, her life's kaput. But the mom's not budging an inch, cause she wants this baby more than anything. She's already had 3 miscarriages. If she loses this one, she'll never be able to have a baby again. This little one's her only shot at being a mom. The pregnant woman's willing to roll the dice and risk her life during the surgery just to save the baby. With her being so dead set, everyone's at a standstill. There's a tumor hiding out in the pregnant woman's belly. Once the surgery kicks off, the baby's a goner. Right about then, the good Dr. Sean pipes up. I've got a fix. We can shoot her up with heparin to tamp down the clot risk before the surgery, and then we can go ahead and operate. Sean's words make Dr. Melendez feel a bit hot under the collar. After they step out, Dr. Melendez calls a quick huddle. He tells Sean, don't put me on the spot in front of the patient, okay? Let's hash it out in private. It makes it seem like you're running the show. Still, there's no denying that what Sean came up with is a solid plan. Dr. Melendez also gives the nod to do the tumor removal surgery on the patient using this scheme. To teach Sean a lesson for running his mouth, Dr. Melendez sends Sean and Dr. Claire to lance a boil for a girl. A boil is basically a little pimple-like thing on the body. Only when they get there do they see that the boil's in a really awkward spot. The girl's in a world of pain. Sean reckons it might be a case of necrotizing fasciitis. The girl's scared out of her wits. Dr. Claire gets started on the job, but the girl's hollering in agony. Sean steps up and volunteers to take over. And sure enough, he nails down the problem. This good-looking girl's got a pain in her hips. Turns out there's a pus-filled bump in there that needs to be surgically removed. Everyone starts asking the girl how she got this sickness. That's when the girl fesses up that she's a streetwalker. So even if she's sick, she doesn't dare tell her parents. Sean tells her, don't sweat it. It's a small-time operation. Over on the other side, Dr. Melendez pitches the tumor removal plan for the pregnant woman to the surgical chief. The chief ain't having it. It's way too tough and risky. If it bombs, the hospital's rep takes a beating and our department's in deep water, too. Truth be told, he doesn't want Dr. Melendez always stealing the spotlight. But Dr. Melendez is set in his ways and is determined to do this surgery. Just after getting the chief on board, the pregnant woman's hubby objects, too. He's worried sick that his wife will die during the surgery. Dr. Melendez says he's got no right to call the shots for his wife. But the hospital bigwigs remind Dr. Melendez that he can make decisions about the baby in the womb. Finally, it gets to the hospital board, and only then do they okay Dr. Melendez to do the surgery. Over here, Sean's sitting on the bus heading home. Sean, who's on the autism spectrum, has got a girl who catches his fancy. Back when he was a kid, he and his younger brother were sneaking peeks at magazines. She's a real looker. Dead gorgeous for sure. Time to hit the hay. Lights out. They barely dodged getting busted by their mom. At school, the belle of the campus that Sean's got a thing for actually strikes up a convo with him. I reckon you're mighty cute. You've got that bubblegum whiff about you. I know, it's from my lip gloss. The two have an awkward little chat for a spell. Next thing you know, the school beauty's asking Sean to strip. Turns out it was a dirty trick. She whistles up a bunch of classmates to give Sean a hard time. Right then, it's his younger brother who steps up to the plate and shields Sean. Some folks may be easy on the eyes but have hearts as cold as ice. But having a brother like Sean's, that's a stroke of luck for a lifetime. Sadly, his brother passed away in an accident. After all that reminiscing, Sean misses his stop on the bus. Once he hops off, he's spooked and whips out the scalpel his brother gave him. Just then, Sean's neighbor drives by and gives him a lift back home. Sean, with his autism, tends to lose it when he can't lay his hands on things. He suddenly recalls what went down last night. His dishwasher conked out at home, so he was tearing the place apart hunting for a screwdriver. He was on such a rampage that he nearly trashed the whole joint. Lucky for him, Dr. Glassman swung by and spotted the screwdriver in the fridge. He told Sean that if something was on the fritz, he could hightail it to the apartment manager. They did free repairs, so there he was, pounding on the manager's door at 1 in the morning. The manager wasn't too pleased, but he still took the repair order. Today, when Sean gets home and sees everything everything's been fixed up, he blows his top. He marches over to the manager to have it out. Turns out Sean only asked the manager to fix the dishwasher, but the guy also tinkered with the faucet. The manager's fit to be tied. I fixed that leaky faucet for free and you're still griping? Turns out Sean needs to hear that dripping sound every night to conk out. And he'd tuned it to 2 drops per second. The manager fumes. If you're gonna keep belly aching, just scram. That shuts Sean up. This is Sean's big moment as an intern doc, his first time in the hot seat as the lead surgeon. It's a real showstopper. One day there are 2 surgeries lined up in Sean's department. The first one's a real doozy, a perilously tricky op to yank a tumor out of a pregnant woman's uterus. The second's a piece of cake, just excising a boil from a streetwalker. The surgical chief takes Sean on for the second surgery. Once the pustules popped, there's a major revelation. There's a tumor hiding in that boil, but to cut this sucker out, they'd have to sever all the nearby nerves, which means the girl would lose all feeling. At the crunch time, it's Sean to the rescue. He bounds in. Turns out he's cooked up a nifty solution. With nerve grafting, sacrificing the nerves in the thigh'll keep the rest intact. The surgical chief's all in on Sean's plan. The girl breaks into a smile. They roll up their sleeves and get cracking pronto. During the surgery, the chief gives Sean the green light to take the reins and prove his nerve grafting's the real deal. For the first time, the surgical chief dishes out some praise to Sean and Claire. Dr. Melendez probably never told you this, but you two are aces. If you ever need a helping hand down the line, just come straight to me. After that, the surgery's a roaring success. The girl will be back on her feet in 6 months. She's beaming again and gives her parents a ring. There's a tumor in the pregnant woman's belly, about the size of a tomato. The removal operation is as tough as rocket science. Dr. Melendez is under a huge amount of pressure. Even the pregnant lady's hubby gives him a hard time. If my wife kicks the bucket, it's all on you. You'll be facing a lawsuit. Dr. Melendez ain't too pleased and shoots back. What if both the mom and the baby come out okay? The guy's left speechless. The surgery gets underway. Just as they cut open the pregnant woman's tummy, and before they even lay eyes on the tumor, all of a sudden, her heart starts going haywire. Turns out it's a heart attack. The operation is halted right away, which makes the whole thing even riskier. The hospital board has an emergency meeting. This surgery's a no-go. The risk is sky high to begin with, and on top of that, the pregnant woman's got a heart condition. If something goes south with her, how's the hospital gonna hold its own in the OB or GYN game? Then Dr. Kalu chimes in with a brilliant idea. What if we let the patient croak first? Do the surgery on a corpse. That way, the heart trouble won't be a bother. We yank out the tumor and then bring the patient back to life. Sounds great, but what the heck does it mean? This here is the world's most cutting-edge surgical technique that can literally bring a patient back from the dead. The deal is, first you inject a drug to stop the heart, then use a bypass machine to pump blood to the organs instead. Once the tumor in the uterus is out, you get the heart beating again. Can you believe surgeries can be done like this? It's like something out of a miracle play. The operation kicks off. They shoot a big syringe of the drug into the heart, and just like that, the heart stops. Then the bypass machine takes over. So now they're operating on a dead body and the heart's none the wiser. This surgery's really something else. They slice open the uterus, take the baby out completely, cut out the tumor, and then put the baby back. Gotta sew up the damage just right. One little slip up, and when the kid grows up, it could bust open the uterus. Then they stitch up the skin and finally get the heart going again. Thanks to everyone's hard work, the surgery's a smashing success. Now the pregnant woman and her husband are all smiles. You know, the health of your loved ones really is the most precious thing. That night, Dr. Kalu and Dr. Claire ask Sean to go for a drink. Sean, with his autism, is starting to soak up the world around him. This is the 4th episode of the 1st season of The Good Doctor. Each story in The Good Doctor has a tough nut of a disease to crack. You see, to be a top-notch doctor, you need more than just book smarts. You gotta have patience, guts, and a load of responsibility. If you're digging it, stay tuned for more of this series. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. Catch you next time. Bye.